morning, everybody, wherever you are, however you may be listening. This is the Wednesday wrap-up. We got Herb in the house, and, don't see Raj, so that makes sense.
Which is so sad because was it not 2 days ago that we were talking about this schedule and we pretty much made it clear when the show was starting? So,
right. Happy Banana Lovers Day. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Man, yeah. Zach usually keeps us informed on the days, but who came up with that? He was like, guys, I love bananas.
Right.
We need our own day.
Well, and there's so many dedicated days. Is the year longer than I remember it? Because there seems to be a day for everything, but then when you go through the list of them, there's a lot more than there are.
Yes. Yes. I agree. What? Oh, okay. I don't even know. I feel like anything I say will get me in trouble here.
Yeah, I'm not going to read that because the first half of this show is for our radio audience, and that is on a smooth jazz station. But
good morning, Win. That's what I'll say.
Welcome
it's always good to see you.
That being said, that is hilarious. I'm not even mad at it. Yes, if you're watching on YouTube, we do have some commercials, but we got to try and keep this thing going. So, got to pay those bills.
What's up, Trina? From Canada.
Hey. So, a lot going on because obviously yesterday was the roster cut day, right? And it's been a few years since the NFL had the progressive cuts down to 53. Now they let everybody be on it until this year. It was yesterday, and they got a trim from 92 to 53. A couple of guys get signed, which you thought would happen. You got Hendrickson getting his sort of contract that he wanted.
Right.
He gets $30 million, and he's still done with the Bengals at the end of this year. Yeah. So that is a little surprising. He gets a raise, so cool. But they're like, yeah, what we don't do here is defense. So sure, come play this year and then literally go anywhere else.
Yeah. I don't get why this just wasn't a trade of some sort instead of give him money. Like, you're not winning it all this year, not with the way you've constructed that team and that defense. So it just feels like it would have been better to cut ties if you were going to do it at the end of the year anyway, especially if you've given up. Why not trade him and get another, I don't know, wide receiver? I mean, just because if you're going, or maybe an offensive line, anything on that side of the ball. But yeah, I don't get it. Like you said, here's a raise, but goodbye later on. I don't. You position yourself to where we're paying all this money. We got to win all this year, and if we don't, are we really going to blame the players for that one? Because
no. People are getting fired if they miss the playoffs this year. I would bet Taylor is not their coach anymore.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I don't think falls on him. If you have a GM that's giving you zero defense, I don't know how you expect to win, but you're the coach. Things are bad while you're there. You get fired. That just is what it is.
Yeah. I still question. Raj, what's up? Nobody was talking about you before you got here. I promise. We didn't say a word. What does the defensive coordinator do in practices and stuff and during the game? I mean, does he actually call plays, or is he just over there sipping?
He's playing Toon Blast and Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, that's the one, boy. I mean, you have nothing to work with. Your best defensive player just basically missed all the camp. So, good luck getting him up to speed. The rest of your defense was just awful, and you didn't make any meaningful contributions to it.
Yep.
How are you supposed to improve on last year? I guess I'm just missing something from the outside. I can't tell if this is the Browns organization or the Bengals organization, or somebody runs both of them.
Yeah, probably that. Probably that's The kid's like 5 and he's playing, legacy mode. It's so bizarre. Honestly, their defensive coordinator probably just uses the app Go Army Edge. And here's a promo for this app because it's actually really cool. The name doesn't make you think it, but it is a football app, and you can design plays. You can actually run simulations of everything through this app, right? So that's probably what he does. He's like, hey, this defensive play, this is what it looks like if I had players.
Yes. Theoretically, this guy would not be a third-round cast-off from 2 other teams, and he would be able to shoot this gap right here. But see what we got out there.
This guy in the stationary zone, he's a stationary zone because it's a road cone.
I mean, it's awful. I don't know. I just don't know what you expect. And when he gets fired, right after game 8, after they give up 40 points to whoever, no one's going to be surprised. But I'm going to go, you guys think that's going to fix it? It'll be that one job where somebody gets fired and nobody wants to get elevated. They're like, hey, Bo, we're elevating you to defensive coordinator. I'm like, no, I'm
straight. Yeah, that is definitely like that cartoon. They're looking for somebody and everyone takes a step back and you're left standing there like, wait a minute.
Absolutely. So,
yeah. I don't know. So the one good signing though, Scary Terry gets his deal, 3-year, $96 million. And I mean, that one, they should have been able to get done a while ago. Like that whole offense was predicated on him being able to be special. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And they're holding out on him. They're not giving him his money. They're not giving him the extension. What was your plan otherwise, though? No one was available that does what he does.
Right.
I mean, it'd be one thing if it's like, you know what? There's 5 other guys out there. We're going to try and make that happen. Cool. There was none of those dudes.
No, I don't. I think he's probably one of the more underrated receivers in the league, given what he's had to put up with before Jane Daniels got there. And the fact that he still puts up numbers with whatever quarterback and whatever offensive coordinator you happen to gather together. So, no. And the other thing is you started making signings and deals, like with grabbing Debo, that says, hey, we're kind of going all in this year. Well, you got to bring your number 1 wide receiver. Debo is not going to be your number 1 wide receiver if Scary Terry's not out there. That's just not happening. You have to, it's like you said, this should have been done a while ago. We're going all in. You want this guy here for the whole camp, right? If you're saying this is the year, let's catch the Eagles. Let's get over that hump while we still got a cheap Jane Daniels here. Then you got to do all the things that go along with that. But it's almost like they felt like if we don't get this deal done, we've got Debo Samuel. No, you don't. You need Terry McLaurin. So let's stop playing.
Plus, to your point, if you're going all in, because you're like, hey, we're in the championship game. We're going to add Debo. We're going to add a couple of small pieces. And then you're like, just kidding. We're also going to untie our shoes. What are we doing?
I know.
Let's get all our players.
I need these to work together. Yes. Some of it just doesn't seem that hard, especially when you gave him that money. It's like, okay, you guys had it. Were you just holding out for a couple bucks? Just give him the money and let's move on. Okay.
Yeah, because now you're creating noise around a franchise. And, we've said it on this show and other shows plenty of times. Anytime you have a noisy offseason, it doesn't generally add to good things during the season. Yeah. So if you had the money, you were going to give it to him anyway. There was no one that was going to fill that role.
Right.
Just have a good offseason. Just pay the guy and keep it pushing. Because when you pay guys, the rest of the locker room's like, hey, cool. When it's my time, I feel like these guys might take care of me instead of, man, this guy's our best dude and they are dragging their feet. What are they going to do when I'm there? So,
that was Cowboys. Excuse me. Sorry.
I mean, that definitely is going to get talked about today. That is for sure. Although I do want to hit Rob's comment here. I was split, right? In a way, because he's that speed guy, that speed element that stretches the field, that kind of takes over that DK, take the top off the defense type of guy. But at the same time, they needed to create a spot for Torrey Horton. They really liked that kid during preseason, and so he did make the roster. He's young, he's cheap. That's where you're like, okay, I mean, you have to get rid of somebody, right? And so who do you get rid of? The guy that you like that has a lot of upside. He's young. You can develop him, or MVS, who's been around the league a long time. You know what he is. He's not really going to evolve past that. But he does fit all the things that you needed on this offense. So, I mean, that's a tough one. Yesterday would have been a tough day as a GM because you absolutely let some guys go that you probably didn't really want to, but 53 is 53.
Yeah.
But yeah, they liked Horton enough that MVS was going to be the odd man out.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he had gotten to Seattle. That's how out of the loop I was until, of course, I'm watching the game to watch Milroe, and I see him catch a pass or two. So I didn't even realize there. So just name wise, I'm surprised he got cut. But then I'm, just for this segment, I'm scrolling through the list, and there's a lot of names you're like, oh, when it's time to cut day can be harsh. So yeah, there's some guys that are some decent names out there that either lost a step or just doesn't fit that team's plans, and they have to go for it. So
and that's sort of the thing, right? Like there's a couple of guys that got cut. Renfro.
Yeah,
he got cut.
Obviously come back
from the illness, but it seemed like he had a good camp. But
that's what I
letting him go. I imagine someone will pick him up. Yeah. Kenyon Green, guard for the Eagles, did not make the cut. He's still on his rookie deal. Like somebody's going to get a deal on that.
Yep.
Because I mean, he's a solid player, but the Eagles have the best line in the league. So, you could be a starter anywhere, but you may not be a starter there. So, he ends up being the odd man out. And of course, obviously MVS, you got Tommy Cutlets getting let go.
Yep. I was surprised that one didn't happen earlier. You signed two quarterbacks and then you drafted one. I thought he was gone a lot earlier. So that seemed like it took a while to do. In the stupid category, I don't say stupid, but in the goofy category, DTR getting cut by the Eagles is funny because you just had a trade for DTR, and draft pick mixed in there, but DTR for Pickett, and now neither one of those guys is on the team. Yeah. One traded and one cut, so that's the only reason why that name jumped out to me.
One, of course, Pickett goes to the Raiders. Amari goes to the Raiders. So Pickett to the Raiders is interesting. Like I don't know that does anything for him. I actually do kind of like Amari to the Raiders. Again, that gives Geno a good possession guy.
Yeah.
The teams that could have really used him aren't the ones that got him, though. I don't know that the Raiders really needed him. There were some teams that could have really used him. And, for whatever reason, they didn't pull the trigger, and then the Raiders do. Because the Raiders have a couple of good tight ends. They do have a good receiver. Obviously, they add a possession guy now. Their running game should be much improved. They have a good defense.
Yeah. What do you think about Jacoby wanting out, though?
I mean, I don't know. The Raiders are such a weird.
Yes.
I mean, even when they have a good team, you're like, yeah, they're going to mess this up. Now they
look at their division. Their division's getting better too. I mean, it's
for sure.
I'm sorry.
Well,
what's up, Van?
The coaching is going to be better, obviously, with Pete there. But,
right.
So.
Oh, LaToya. Did she just say? Oh, I guess she's saying Naraj in the chat. Okay, I'll take that. I was getting called it. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut across. It's just like there's so many more questions, with the Raiders. Division is better. You do have Geno, but that's kind of more of a short term move, and then you get a guy like Cooper, but you guys aren't, a player or two away from even winning the division or competing for the division. So that's weird. Your best player, is Brock Bowers at this point. So It seems like maybe you'd get younger and try to help build around him. So I don't know. Cooper's only there for a year, so I get that. Jacoby wants out, but I would have thought you would have wanted out at the beginning of this year, not at the end of this, camp. I don't know. Like you said, it's just a crazy, crazy situation. So they probably won't get talked about because they're going to be last in the division anyway, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, so they're going to be that team that they're going to beat some teams they shouldn't. They're going to lose to teams they shouldn't, right? And, of course, they're in a division that is going to be hyper-competitive this year. Chargers are going to be better. Denver's going to be better. KC's going to be a little bit worse. So those three are really going to battle for that top spot. And then the Raiders exist. And, but if the other teams beat each other up enough, I mean, they could be in that conversation in the division, which would be awesome, really.
Yeah. Like I could see this right now. I'm looking at the schedule. They go on the road to the Colts. They beat the Colts. They beat Tennessee. And then, they lose to the Colts. They lose to Tennessee. And then they go to Kansas City and win. And you'd be like, yeah, it sounds like the Raiders,
Yeah, and not just win. They go there and beat the brakes off them, right? Like, wait, what is going on right now?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes halfway through the third quarter is sitting on the bench. So you're like, what just happened? So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, the Raiders are always good to mess up my week of pick'em. Right? I'll be cruising along and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all my picks right today, and then the Raiders come out and you're just like, okay, you know what, they're gonna beat the Panthers, right? Yeah. And then they get smoked and you're like, okay, well, that didn't work out. And then the next week you're like, oh yeah, well, I mean, they're gonna lose to KC, and then they beat them by like 25, and you're like, I don't get this team at all.
At all.
It
was wild.
1,000-yard season. So yeah. I mean, so
I'm good with that.
Here's the thing about 1,000-yard season today is it's not that impressive, right? I mean, when you think about it, you have 17 games. So it's not like back when you had 14 games, 1,000-yard, 1,000-yard rusher was, 70, 80 yards a game. Now you're talking, you got to come up with 60 yards? Okay. I mean, you could pop off one dynamic run and be on pace. So
yeah,
I don't view it quite the same. I view a 1,500-yard rusher today the way I did a 1,000-yard rusher when it was a 14-game season. So do I think can get to 1,000? Yeah, I think most, really either wide receiver ones or running back ones really can hit that number relatively easily, barring injuries and stuff. So 1,000 yards just isn't quite the same anymore.
No, I agree. When I see that number now, I'm like, yeah, he should reach that easily. I mean, think about it. He gets a 100-yard rushing game. You're like, well, that's almost 2 of his games that he needs to get to 1,000. And then with the Raiders, I mean, they're going to be in several situations where, hey, if the third quarter, we're getting blown out, let's still get them some burn out there while the other teams relax a little bit, and you break off a big runner, all you need is 1 or 2 big runs in a game. And hey, I'm close to what I need for my average anyway. So.
Yeah, or you end up with one of those crazy games like Derrick Henry where he rattles off 200 yards and you're just like, well, cool. Like he could ride the bench for the next 3 games and it wouldn't matter.
And you're good to go. Yep. Which if he's on the Ravens, he might, because
that's true.
You never know. We just thought you retired from last game, Derek. We're just going to let you sit this game. Like, what?
And he's like, that was 2 games ago. Let me play some football. Yeah. No, it's it's some of those benchmark numbers. And it's funny because as they continue to add games, when you listen to sports media, they still act like that 1,000 yards is what it used to be. So they're like, oh, he's a 1,000-yard rusher. It's like, I mean, okay.
Right. Well, you said it perfect. When you break it down, hey, if I average 60 yards a game, I break 1,000. Then people are like, oh, really? 60? Yeah, 60 doesn't sound great at all. You can never have 100-yard rushing game and break 1,000. Then no, it's not. It's not that impressive.
Yeah, well, especially like think about it this way: you can be 1,000-yard rusher or 1,000-yard receiver, either way, and be undraftable in fantasy.
Yeah. What do you mean? You know what? He averages 65 yards rushing a game. Like, no, I didn't need him for my team. I'm good.
Yeah, so. 60, 65 yards and a tug every couple of games. Like, that seems like you are not on my team. Like, I don't know.
Yes. So.
Yes. So think about it this way, and I do think he can get there. For no other reason than this is a Pete Carroll team, right? Like they're going to run the ball. So as long as he doesn't get hurt, and there's, it's probably going to take a minute for the league to figure out exactly what his tendencies are. So he's probably going to rattle off some pretty decent runs in the first half of the season. You might see that slow down a little bit in the second half, but yeah, I could see him getting to 1,500 because I mean. They're going to hand him the rock a lot.
Yeah. I also think that's where having Geno, Brock Bowers, Amari Cooper, and if Jacoby – what's up, J-Bake? Appreciate you, man. And if Jacoby Myers stays, when you have some semblance of a passing game and they're not all just able to load up on him, I think that's going to help him as well. So you can see in that case where the Amari Cooper – even if Myers leaves, having Cooper and, like you said, two good tight ends and one of them being Brock Bowers, I think the passing game will still be opened up to where – you're not just going to be able to try to come out and shut down Genty. So,
well, especially when you think of the fact that they have two good tight ends, both of them willing to block,
right?
Which means one of those linebackers has to hang out. Like they can't come up and load the box because if they do, then you're going to have a guy like Bowers who does a little bump and run. So it looks like he's blocking. He fades into the open, into the flat or into the, seam right there. And then that's open all day. So the fact that those tight ends are going to get a lot of use keeps some of the defense honest, which will help Gentry get, better run support.
Yep. Okay. I think you get there.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching the Raiders. I think they're going to be kind of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Is there a little bit of Geno love in that too? Sorry, go ahead.
No, mostly because I'm just not emotionally invested in it. No, it really has nothing to do with Pete and Geno or anything like that. They're just they're a team that when you watch them, you're really not going to know what team is walking out there. So you're like, okay, like they could play somebody tough, or they're just gonna like fall apart. And
right.
So those are always interesting to watch, especially if it's not your team. When it's your team doing that, you're just like,
right. Oh, I've been there. Like, oh yes, no, I totally get that. And people ask you, how you guys gonna play today? And you go, I mean, could be great, could be terrible. There will be no in between though.
Yes,
we don't play mediocre ball. We're great or terrible.
Yeah, it is all or nothing. There is no doubt. Yeah. So I don't know. They'll be fun. I'm looking forward to them. Colts, I think, are going to be interesting to watch. They got Daniel Jones there. You have a Anthony Richardson that sounds like he is not in love with the situation anymore. So who knows what kind of weird dynamic is brewing in those locker rooms. So I'll be watching them with some interest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
is this your train wreck teams list? Is that what we're making?
Yeah, I mean, not really train wrecks. Just like you're expecting some inconsistent play. Like the train wreck will be the Browns.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Browns are going to be. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the Browns are going to be?
They certainly.
Nobody's saying Jones is better. I guess let me rephrase that. Jones is better than Anthony Richardson. Richardson has better upside.
Right.
But just because you're better doesn't mean you're good. So let's clear that up. I mean, it's not like we're saying, oh, they're just going to kill it now that Daniel Jones is there. That is certainly not the case. What he does do is he is more consistent at the short to immediate throws.
Right.
Which is something AR doesn't do. And do I think we see Richardson at some point? Yeah, sure.
I think you
Why
have
not?
to. Yes.
Well, I mean, besides, it's the Colts. Like, all they do is try and ruin quarterbacks. So, I mean, they're going to do everything in their power to just destroy any confidence either one of those guys have. So, but yeah, I mean, you knew as soon as they brought Daniel Jones in, he was going to be their guy. Like, you knew they were making the shift. And when you look at it from a accuracy and the particular depth that they wanted to throw, he fits their system better, right? Richardson can throw the bomb and he's athletic. The problem is he doesn't hit that 5 to 20 yard target very well. And that's 90% of your offense when you're throwing the ball, right?
Yeah.
Like, you take a couple of shots downfield and you don't really want your quarterback to run that much, right? Especially Richardson, because he gets hurt. So, yeah, I mean, do I think we see him? Sure. Do I think Jones is better? Marginally. Do I think the Colts do anything this year? No.
No. And I've gone on record as saying they've ruined the whole Richardson thing about as much as a team can mess up. Shouldn't have been drafted that high. Should have been thrown out there early. Should have been yanked in and out of the lineup. You know, we said it. I mean, you know, just, and I know we're cutting up to the break here, but the way the Seahawks handled Jalen Milroe is how the Colts should have handled Richardson, and they didn't. Yes. So, and shout out to Domo, by the way, that guest on our show last night, good friend, good contributor all the time. Yeah, he was out there breaking down Alabama, but huge on TikTok and stuff, and joined the Bama Standard, does shows every week with them too as well. So
awesome,
good guy to have around. Yeah, no, the Anthony Richardson thing has just been terrible. Yeah, no, the combine performance is, but everything he's done on the field is what he did on Florida in a very, very limited sample. And so, like, we talked about this last week, actually. Like, he went into the job interview and he's like, I'm super athletic. I'm inconsistent in the short range passes, and, you know, my accuracy needs work and blah, blah. And the Colts threw him out in the first game and just said, all right, hope it got better, you know, in the offseason. And he did all the things that he's done at Florida. And they're like, that's strange, without like trying to develop him at all. He was always a project, and they never developed him and did anything. So I really think the Colts have mismanaged this whole situation with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they bought a project, and you're like, how come it's not done? It's like, that's not how that works.
No, like, at all. You know, he didn't have enough starts in college to really get the whole, you know, picture. So I don't get it.
I'm going to go through 40 pounds of big league. That's what we're doing. 40 pounds of big league chew. That's the Pete Carroll benchmark for the year. That being said, that does get us to the halfway point. We got to say goodbye to our radio audience. So if you are listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, there is some more smooth jazz headed your way, and we will see you all next week. Or you can catch the rest of our show right here on YouTube at Football-Talk and see the second half. All right. Let's see who else we got. Lost my
your list.
Lost my spot on my list here.
Well, I didn't know if they were gonna.
It's how you know it's good TV.
There you go. There you go.
Be like,
well, I don't know if you were gonna do these, but Cam Akers and Clyde Edwards-Helaire were two bigger names too that kind of jumped out as far as cuts. Obviously, you know, you get some blurbs across your ESPN and some you don't. So I'm like reading through the list and I'm thinking, man, those are, you know, at least name wise. I didn't watch their camps, obviously, didn't see how that was, but not two names that I expected to jump out there, especially when both guys kind of left Super Bowl winning teams and tried to get to other teams and then you don't make it with those. especially with Akers on the Saints. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize both of them made the Saints. So that's rough. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, the 53-man cuts they're always tough because you see some guys that get cut and you're just like, I did not see that one. Like, but like MVS here, it's like, okay, well they got a rookie that they like better. It's like, well, I mean, that's the NFL, right? Like your job is never really secure. So, the one thing with Milroe, just because I got asked about it the other day, if I think we're going to see Milroe this year, and hopefully not, right? If we do, a lot of things went wrong because Darnold is your presumptive starter. And then, of course, you have Drew Lock, who has shown to be a great backup, right? Like he can come in and win you a game, even if he has to start a couple of times. Like he can effectively do the job. So based on that, Milroe is solidly the third option. So if he's starting, like there's a problem. But it also means they're going to let him develop, which is what Anthony Richardson needed. And so I like the potential for Milroe. I'm not a Milroe fan though, right? Having watched his film, having seen him at the Senior Bowl, like I didn't see anything that I was just like, oh, that's that dude. You're just like, okay, like, he's got some tools that need refinement, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if you land in a good spot to develop, then you can become everything that people hope you are. Or you end up in, Indy, where they're just like, you know what, we are going to ruin this kid. Yes.
No. Milroe, you might be, I don't know, surprised to hear not one of the most polarizing players in Alabama history. There are people right now, if they talk about last year and you get into a Milroe debate, it's going to be like all over the place. His huge defenders, huge people against him. It is wild. I think the development is needed. And he went through to some that didn't help him. I think he went through a different offensive coordinator like every year he was here. I think he had 2 years involved. But then it was, Reese was here, and then he had Sheridan last year. And none of them, he didn't really fit any of those guys. The fact that Seattle drafted him, and I agree with him, like you said, I think he's in a perfect situation where he's got two guys ahead of him. And Locke is a guy who, Locke's never going to be your 17-game starter. He knows what he is at this point. I'm a backup. I can definitely win you a couple of games, but probably also here to mentor whoever's behind me anyway. So, no, I think Milroe's in a yeah, you're right. No, see, this is what I'm talking about. You do not. If you get into that, they will come out the woodwork, and there were people take it personally when you're on one side or the other.
Oh yeah, I mean, get into a Shedeur Sanders debate.
Oh,
See, that stuff is classic because people get in their feelings real quick, and like I was talking about it. I think it was Monday and Monday morning because people were just like, well. Don't you think Shedeur did enough to start? It's like, I mean, no, right? I mean, you watched him run himself into trouble, right? Like the first preseason game he played, he looked pretty good, but it's against Panthers, right? Like you're talking about the third stringers for the Panthers, not exactly a juggernaut of a team, okay? And then you go to his last game, and he was running himself into issues. He actually had some pretty good protection and then bailed out the backside of the pocket, letting those DNs disengage. So, I mean, yeah, of course he got sacked a bunch because you literally ran into a sack. If he would have done what Gabriel did, which is climb the pocket, a few of those wouldn't have been a problem. Right. So now, obviously, he had a receiver drop a pass and, not everything was working well anyway. But it was the decision-making that you're watching that you're just like, okay, well, I mean, there's more development that has to happen there. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the team. I'm just saying that he didn't do enough to be the starter.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. He's a rookie.
Yeah. He's a rookie 5th rounder. That was that's a very sensible take. But people, like you said, people get on one side of it. I'm like, are you guys related to the Sanders family? Because you're taking this awfully personal. Like me, I don't want him to do badly. I would like him to succeed.
Sure.
But like none of my happiness is tied to his succeeding or not,
Well,
I've got people still showing me vast conspiracies and stuff. And I'm like, he's going to be okay no matter what happens. Right. So
the thing that's funny is if I said the take I just said to Dion, he'd be like, yeah, I watched that on film too. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. The first game was good. The second game wasn't. I mean, and that's our only looks at them. So, whatever else. And people are like, oh, it's bad. And the Browns, they're the Browns. Did you honestly expect them to handle anything correctly? The GM and owner basically both came out and said, we didn't want to draft him. So he was drafted by some computer sitting somewhere on auto draft, went to a team that had already drafted somebody in his position. Like the whole situation has been mismanaged. So
they're like, oh, I got up to use the bathroom, and wait, it was our turn. Shoot.
Yeah. I always expected it to go bad. It has not gone well. I don't think that part of Shedeur's fault. It's the Browns organization. He'll be on another team in a couple of years. I mean,
well, and they did do the right cuts in the quarterback room, right? They let Pickett go, and they let Huntley go. Now, in that game where Shedeur wasn't playing particularly well, I did find it a little odd they didn't let him do the 2-minute drill.
That was ridiculous, I thought.
Especially when you're letting a guy you're cutting do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the part I really didn't get. It's like, what did you benefit from that? Like you knew Huntley was gone. What's the point? I mean, unless you're just trying to help the guy out to maybe land somewhere else. But I know you weren't looking at anything. You only picked him up as an insurance policy.
Right.
So like what was the plan there? And of course it's the Browns. There probably wasn't one, but
I know. Yeah. No, at that point, Shedeur deserves that last one, especially that, and I was reading articles about it like this. That's the area in the past that he has shined in the 2-minute drill. Okay, well, let's go see if he can do it, especially to redeem what's been a bad performance so far. Let him go shine in the highest pressure moment. So, like I said, that you knew they were going to mess it up, and they messed it up. We just can't be surprised at any of it. So, yeah.
But no, it's funny. Like, as soon as you talk about that stuff, people immediately come out to try and barbecue you. And it's like, did you even watch the game? Or are you just mad for me to be mad? Like, it's and Rob, I do want to hit that. I don't think they wasted a third rounder. Like, I think that's good value for him. And talking about Milroe, obviously, I think that was good value for him. Like, you're not going to spend too much. He's not going to be your starter. He has at least a year or two that he can wait, and they're not going to ask him to do too much too soon, unless everybody gets hurt or whatever. I mean, you have Darnold for the next 3 years, although there are outs after each year. So, I mean, hypothetically, if you wanted to move on, you could. You have Locke for the next 2, right? So he's going to have that opportunity to be what you want to develop him into without having to give him a ton of money. Right. So, I'm not mad at it for a third rounder.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I thought it was good too. Like I said, they actually had a plan in place. So
exactly,
good for them. Yep. If you're getting a third rounder up, you don't want a guy that you're thinking, all right, we got to get this guy out as soon as possible. So,
yep. I think Dart is probably the rookie that gets the fastest start out of this group. That's going to get elevated.
Cam Ward. Cam Ward's probably still your.
Well, Ward's going to get the day one, but I mean one that's going to unseat the veteran in front
the next
of him.
guys.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
Ward's going to have to play immediately, so that I didn't include him in that. But as far as one that's going to elevate past the guy in front of him, if Flacco gets hurt, then obviously that's different. But I don't foresee Wilson getting hurt. I just expect him to have a couple of games that are not awesome, and they may pull the trigger on Dart. Because as soon as they start to slip out of that contention range for the division, which, let's be honest, is going to be relatively quick because you got the Eagles and Washington ahead of you. It's going to be a battle between them and Dallas for that last spot. But I think he probably has the best chance to move past Wilson. Whereas I think on the Browns side, it's going to take Flacco getting hurt or just having some horrendous gameplay.
Right. No, I agree. And Jackson Dart, that, we saw him up close and personal. I never was super high on him, but you have to think coming from playing with under Lane Kiffin for years really got him prepared. Because one of the things everybody talked about leading up to this was how he just didn't seem fazed by kind of like bright lights of the situation. I'm like, you're also talking about an SEC quarterback who played on a team that's traditionally not in the limelight, and then all of a sudden he gets a coach who's elevated them to like, hey, we think this is playoff status. And, you're going to places like Alabama, you're going to Georgia and playing, no disrespect to the NFL stadiums, but like at the college level, that's as big as it gets week in and week out, and the pressure of that. So it's going to be as close as you get to NFL stuff. So I think he was always going to be poised. And the fact that they moved up and got him in the first round, I think that shows you a lot. So no, I absolutely agree with you that he will be the person to unseat him. And if the season goes south and you kind of see everything, like you said, Wilson kind of fall. And, everybody knows Jameis is not in a 4-game stretch. Jameis could have 2 300-yard games and 2 5-pick games, and that could just be the Jameis Winston experience.
He can have a 305-pick game.
Pick game, yes. So, I wouldn't be surprised, Jack. At some point, they're going to say, let's just throw him out there and just see, because he just seems like the kind of guy best suited to handle whatever pressure and whatever comes along this year. So I think
I fully expect him to take over that spot by week 10.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I see him. Could be a little earlier, if Wilson really struggles, but I could see him starting by 10. Probably the earliest to be like week 8.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think what will be interesting is on the Browns side, say Flacco does get hurt. Are you going to alternate Gabriel, Shedeur to see what they do? Or like what kind of craziness is that about to be?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm them, I probably just do whatever because it doesn't matter. But I think if you're elevating, you need to keep it. Gabriel needs to move up, and Gabriel needs to get the start. That was your 3rd-round pick, and that's supposed to be the next man up, and that's how you slotted it. So, again, if you didn't want the Sanders pressure, you just don't draft him. Somebody else will pick him up or let him not get drafted free agent and then go talk to teams personally and get on. He could pick his roster. That would have been better than this situation, because you're going to feel pressure to play somebody that you didn't necessarily want to play or even have on the team. So, good job, Browns.
The other Sanders that has a bunch of storyline around him, which is funny, and this is solidly because he's a Sanders, because he gets let go. He was undrafted anyway, right?
Right.
So they cut him, and it comes on the heels of a guy that was absolutely getting bullied on the play, and then he shoves the guy and then smacks him in the helmet. He's the second guy, right? So you get the flag every time. But the thing is if you are a bubble player, you can't have stuff like that, right?
Right.
If he wanted to stay on this team, he would have had to have been like, and back out of the situation, because then the team says, hey, you know what? He showed maturity in the moment. He's got some intangibles that, whatever. Because when you looked at his coverage stats, they were terrible, right? Like he was not good in coverage. But if you have the intangibles that they can build on, be like, hey, you know what? He's undrafted, doesn't really cost us anything.
Right.
How about we, try to develop this kid? Maybe he doesn't even make our 53. Maybe we send him down to a practice squad or whatever. But soon as it's like, oh, he's retaliating and stuff like that, it's like, man, now you already didn't have a ton of upside, and now we're seeing something that, it's not like we're the only ones that saw it on tape. That showed other teams that, hey, we can get in your head, right? Why people go after DK all the time? Because they're like, oh, you know what? Even if they beat us on this play, I'm going to get in his head enough that he's going to get a 15-yarder, negate the play, probably kill the drive.
Yeah.
Which is smart, right? It's good gamesmanship. Like if you can get in someone's head, you do it. So, yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. And like you said, we're only even talking about it because it's a Sanders thing. Because first off, the play that we saw there, you see like, a couple of times every football game. One guy instigates something, the other guy retaliates. The ref seemingly is sipping coffee and smoking one until the second guy throws it. Right? That happens every single play. We're only talking about it because of the Sanders. And then again, like he was undrafted. Guys, this isn't their second rounder that they cut because of one thing. He had a long shot to make the team in the first place. So that just added to it. But let's stop making that into another conspiracy. He wasn't drafted. Nobody talked about him during the draft like, oh, they should have picked him up. And we didn't know if he was going to make the team anyway. So
now he's not.
You do have to act better if you're on the bubble.
He's not going to be out of football.
Right.
The Argonauts do have the rights to him if he doesn't land on a team. So he could go to the CFL if he wants. So, yeah, I mean, it's not like it's forcing him out of football. If he wants to play, he'll still be able to. And who knows? Like there may be a practice squad that picks him up just to see what he can do, what he might be, right? So, but yeah, I thought it was interesting because it got a lot of headlines, even though it shouldn't, right? You got an undrafted free agent. Coverage numbers weren't great. You have some intangible things that didn't work out. That sounds like a cut every time. Like no part of that makes me think, oh, you know what? You definitely got to keep him around.
I agree.
Which, probably also will get this episode, attacked. But hey, whatever.
Hey, I'm used to it. Like I said, anytime we had a Milroe discussion, we got it. And now all of a sudden it's a Sanders thing. And people just want you to be on one side or the other. And I'm like, I'm just not. I'm just going to call it as I see it, straight down the middle. I don't wish bad for those two guys. I want them to do well. One of them went undrafted. It's hard to be too mad at what happened to him. The other one got drafted in probably one of the worst situations. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The Browns are a terrible organization. So, who doesn't address everything else, who keeps their best defensive player unhappy for the longest and just throw a boatload of money at them and then draft every quarterback they could. That's the Browns,
Oh yeah. No,
we got a 50-year-old quarterback and two rookies. Like what
for real.
What about this situation makes you think it's going to turn out well?
Well, and it was funny because I got killed for a take that happened during rookie camp, right? And we were talking about Shedeur, and he was patting the ball at an exact timing mark before every single throw. And I was like, oh man, like you can't do that. They're going to coach him out of that. And people are like, you're dumb. Every quarterback pats the ball. And I'm like, yeah, but what I'm talking about is the exact timing of it. I mean, if you remember, Aqib Talib built his whole career on quarterback timing, right? He would time their 3-step drop. He would time little nuances to go get picks. Like he made a whole career of it. Like you can't tell me that that's not a thing. And people are like, "Oh no! If you're a corner and you're looking in the backfield, you're beat because I guess you're in man coverage all the time, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, unless you have top leverage in zone, and then you can see the quarterback, you can see your guy. Obviously, if you're in a trail position, you're not looking. Like, do you even watch football? Like, what are you talking about right now?" So, but it was funny because now when you look at him throw, you know what he's not doing is the exact timing, right?
Right.
Like sometimes he'll pat, sometimes he won't. Well, now you don't have that timing element. Literally what we were talking about.
Right. Like, hey, maybe I knew what I was talking about. Like, yeah.
Weird.
Yes.
It's almost like I played for a while.
I know. It's shocking.
That position.
Yes. I swear, there's just a lot of folks that sit at home and have never done it and go, "Oh, I've read books and I've played Madden and I know exactly what I'm talking about." Not you. Yeah, well, I guess you don't watch the quarterback pat the ball in Madden. You wouldn't have any idea what's going on. See, I'm not a film breakdown. So when I hear guys like you talk, that's me like, okay, let's just take this in. Let's not argue anything. Let's just actually listen to what this person is saying.
So one of the funniest responses that I got, and this clip ended up with like 2 million hits, right? But this my favorite one was, well, what if the D end is in the way? I was like, well, then you can't see him pat the ball. Like, if you can't see the quarterback, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not going to see him. I mean, I was trying to look at this thing, but then there was a building in the way. I didn't see it. It's like, yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, no, it was.
You'll just yell "move" to the DN. Hey, get out the way! Trying to watch the quarterback. I don't, that's what happens.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's not like it's every play, right? Like if you have deep thirds, deep quarters, or you're in man, in a trail position, whatever. Like none of those scenarios can you peek in the backfield because you'll get beat, right? It's really specific elements of, hey, you have top leverage in a zone. Well, then you can look. And they're like, well, you can never look. It's like, if you never looked, you know what play wouldn't have to exist? The quarterback looking a defender off.
Right.
A no-look pass. If you're never looking at the quarterback ever, it doesn't matter where the quarterback's looking, right? Because you're not paying attention. It's like, what are we even talking about?
That's why I love people, man. But people will throw out anything to be right. They don't care how dumb the argument is. If it makes them sound like they're right, then that's what they're going to go with. So married men know this one. Hope my wife's not watching. I just heard her leave, so I think I'm safe.
Nope, that was her coming in. We're about to see the beginning of a Snapped episode.
No, I'm texting. Love you. See, I'm safe.
See, now she knows something's up. You're going to get the what'd you do?
Oh, man.
Man, so good. Yeah, so I guess, just in the last few minutes here, WNBA news. We got the highest attendance rate in WNBA history. They are 2.3 million, and they still have a month to go. So people are showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Even with Clark out.
Yep.
Which is funny. I'm looking at the article, and it's like there's a front office sports, and they're averaging this many viewers, and Caitlin Clark's pictures on it. I'm like, she's not even playing, but they're still attributing it to the Caitlin Clark effect. So does that mean she brought people in and they're staying even though she's not around? I mean, her team's still battling, so that part's good. I do feel like some of the other players are getting a little more notoriety now. Like,
yes,
for everybody who got onto them for saying, hey, there's some other good players here, we're here, it seemed to have worked. I think you're noticing some other players. So I don't know. All eyes on them, for better or for worse, is still good for the WNBA. So I'm happy to see them doing better, even when she's not like the focal point. So
yeah, well, and I mean, they beat the brakes off my Storm last night. So they
what happened? I can't understand your Storm, by the way. I never know.
Hey. Well, I mean, one of the things you look at is check out the rebounding numbers. They're 2-1. Like they could not get a rebound. Second chance points were crazy. I think they ended up with like 20 second chance points. You're never going to win a game like that. If you're giving 20 second chance points, that's insane. It ended up like offensive boards, I think, was like 12-3. They just, for whatever reason, the Storm do not crash the boards, especially on the offensive side.
Right.
They launch it up. Everybody kind of starts their back pedal while the ball's on the way. And that's fine if you're in rhythm and they're going down. But, their shooting was sporadic, even though percentage-wise it didn't look terrible. Mm-hmm. It was really streaky. And if you're going to be shooting really streaky, you got to crash the boards, right? You got to assume that they're not going to go in. They also had a lot of turnovers in this game. So it was just it was an ugly outing. Obviously, this is game I think this is game 4. I think it's game 4 of a road trip. They have one more tomorrow. So, I mean, it's a long road trip. You're bouncing around the country. Fatigue could play a factor for sure.
Right. And they won the previous 3, so they were on a good streak. So
exactly. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. It just, it was a situation where I didn't even have any questions in the post game, right? Because we've seen this all year. Like,
right.
It's not like there's new ways for me to be like, hey, do you think maybe today you want to rebound? Like, because we've had this conversation in the last 30 games. At this point, you're just like, yeah, I mean, this is who you are, right? Like, you just don't rebound. Like, that's just not what you do. They got smoked in points in the paint, something they had been doing better at. And even though percentage-wise they were relatively close to the Fever as far as shooting percentage, they took like 20 less shots. So I mean, even if your percentage is good or similar, if you're taking that many fewer shots, and then you're also giving up all the second chance points and turning the ball over, it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't have a chance. And that game started to get out of hand quick. Like I was
following along.
First, 4 or 5 minutes, they were already down 10.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, boom. You're like, oh, okay.
Which, as decimated as the Fever are right now, I know they're still fighting, but they're losing players, bench players, starters, players that just joined the team out for the season. They're pretty much down to Mitchell, Boston, and I think Howard, and then that's kind of it. It's also weird to me when you're a bad rebounding team and you don't improve on either end. Like, that's fine. You give up on offensive rebounds. Everybody gets back, right? So how are you not improving on the defensive rebounds? Because that just seems the easiest one. Look, when a shot goes up, everybody go get one.
Well, so the defensive ones, the funny thing is I actually can excuse the defensive ones a little more than the offense. Like the offense, you're supposed to be moving around, right? Mm-hmm. So you should have one of your people crashing towards the boards as that ball's going up in case it doesn't go in, right? On the defensive side, because we have Gabby Williams, who, leads the league in steals, and you have Ezzy, who is, I think she's second in blocks. So those numbers would make sense to miss defensive rebounds because they're aggressively going after the ball. And if you miss, right, you're out of position. So like if you go up for a block and you miss the block, you're out of position to get that rebound because generally your momentum carries you past. Or if you're going for the steal, if you miss, that player's by you, you've essentially boxed yourself out. So I could get the defensive side, but when you have 40 minutes of basketball, you have 3 offensive rebounds. Like you're just not crashing the boards,
right?
Like, at all.
I get that
because you can get 1 to 3 rebounds because it hit the heel and kicked it back out to you. Like so some of those can accidentally come your way on the offensive side.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say on it: 2 starters for the Fever had 9 rebounds. The entire starter for Group 5 for the Storm had 9 rebounds. Like that's just a wild stat. Like you shouldn't.
Absolutely insane. Wow. Absolutely insane. That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. We got to get out of here. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to just hang out because Coast to Coast is coming up next. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Take it easy, everybody.